Hi guys, and you're welcome once again back to my channel Biomastery with Master K. If you're meeting me for the very first time, I'm Master K, and today we'll dive into another interesting topic called classification. Now, basically, we have over 2 million species of organisms on this planet Earth, but over 1 million of them are named, and quite a number of them are even unknown. We don't even know the group that some of them belong to. Now, biologically, the grouping of these organisms because of their characteristics, some because of their color, because of their behavior, some because of their physical appearance, morphological appearance, and so on and so forth, make us to group them into social places. So classification is the science of putting organisms into similar resemblance of group, and that's what we call taxonomy. Taxonomy. Some refer it as taxonomy, while some refer it as taxonomic grouping. Yeah. What is taxonomic grouping? Putting every organism to the classes similar classes. Now, let me break it down. Organisms that are having similar appearance, similar characteristics are to be put into the same class. Let's take for instance human, goats, dogs, elephants. Every animal that has backbone are grouped as vertebrates. We are all grouped as vertebrates. And think about it: earthworm, insect, maggot. Name any other organism that are lower, they are grouped as what? Invertebrates. That's what we refer to as taxonomic grouping. I'm just giving an illustration. Are you there now? Now let's look into the way we can group organisms. Organisms are basically grouped largely into the very first, let me say, taxonomic ranking. We have life. After life, we have domain. After domain, we now have kingdom. But for the sake of this video, I'm not going to go into domain. I'll start from kingdom. Now, you might be asked to classify, maybe in your WAEC questions, NECO question, or GCE, you might be asked to classify a particular organism. For instance, give the classification or classify the following organism. Classify the following organism. If you are to classify the following organism, what are the organisms you want to classify? You may be asked to classify goats. Maybe asked to classify some fruits like mango. Now, take note, goat is an animal and mango is a what? Is a fruit. They have two different classes and a different kingdom. Do we get that now? So that's the reason we group them into a broad class. Every organism are grouped into a broad class called kingdom. After kingdom, we have phylum. What are kingdom? Kingdom are group of related phyla, the singular. Do we get that now? They are group of related what? Phyla. And this group of related phyla have their own related group as well. Now let's move on. We have kingdom, phylum. The next is what? Class. After class, kingdom, phylum, class. The next is order, family, genus, and species. Now, this is very easy. You might be like, hey, how will I remember? Before I start putting what they belong to. Kingdom, Animalia, and kingdom, Protista, kingdom, this, kingdom. How will I remember? Calm down. That is why Master K is here. I'll give you the best, easiest way to remember all this serially, so that you're not going to lift class up and put phylum down. Majority of us made that mistake. Even some teachers does that. You bring this order, you bring it down, you take genus up. No, this is the way they are to be arranged. If you want to know the best way to arrange them, let me give you a simple acronym. The simple acronym is, let's look at this. I call it keep, plate, clean, or family, get, sick. Now look at this. Keep, plate, clean, or family, get, sick. Now let me do it in another way entirely. Let's look at it in another way. Let's look at keep plate clean or family get sick. That's very, in your family, if you're not keeping plate clean, other insects might go there, will eat the food, and will fall sick. But look at this, keep plate clean or family get sick. You easily remember this, that K is going for what? Kingdom. Plate is going for what? Phylum. Clean is going for class, or is going for order. Family for family, get for genus, and sick for species. Do you understand that now? So when you understand that, please, and you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit the bell notification button, and also what? Subscribe. Thank you very much. Have you done that? Yeah. Now let's proceed. Now this is kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. As I've said, keep plate clean or family get sick. So that's how we get it. Do we get it? Now in this, for the sake of this video, I would not move into classifying classifying any organism for now, because we have to take it step by step. Under taxonomic grouping, we group every living organism into plants. Every living organism on planet Earth, in anywhere in the part of the globe, are grouped just into two, which are plants and animals. Plants and animals. So I will only pick the taxonomic grouping of animal for the sake of today's class under classification. Subsequently, in our next video, I'm going to make for classification of animals. And if you want me to do that, please put it in the comment section that you wanted it, and I'll do that. Now, let's first of all pick classification of plants. Let's go. Now, how do we classify plants? Plants could be classified based on the following criteria. Some of them are woody, some of them are non-woody. Some of them based on cultivation, some of them based on maybe they have fruit or they do not have fruit. So for the sake of this class, I'm going to be looking into number one, botanical classification. Botanical classification. After the botanical classification, we'll also look into agricultural classification. Agricultural classification. We have this, and we have classification based on usage. Based on usage or tillage practice. Do we get that? We have another classification called classification based on life cycle. This one is very common when you're in your junior secondary school, or maybe even in primary school. Classification of plants based on their life cycle. We have annual crop, perennial crop, and so on and so forth. So I'm not going to talk about this. I won't talk about this. But for the sake of this video, I will only pick this first, and I'll discuss on it. Now let's look into botanical classification of plants. Under the botanical classification of plants, let me write it out. Botanical classification. What is the meaning of this botanical? It's not hard. It is just called scientific classification of it. What are the views of the scientists, the way they see plants? What is their view of seeing plants? So botanical are the names they give them according to the way they have been discovered. Are you there? Now, the first one we'll be looking into is the schizophyte. Now, mind you, plants. Let me go back a bit. I want to talk about kingdom. We have 5 kingdoms. We have kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, and kingdom Animalia. Under the kingdom Plantae is where I pick this from. Subsequently, we'll talk about kingdom as well. Now, under the kingdom Plantae is where we not plantain. No, I'm not talking about plantain you are eating. Let's spell it on the board. Let's spell it because so we'll not get confused. This is it. AE ends it, not this. Not the plantain we consume. No, I'm talking about this. Kingdom what? plantae. Are you following now? Thank you. Now, botanical classification now. Under them is where we have the kingdom plantae. So under the kingdom plantae, the botanical classification, number one is the phylum. You know, after kingdom, we have phylum. According to my explanation here, kingdom plantae is where they belong to. What is the phylum now? The phylum of plant now, I have like 5 of them. Let me list them now. The first one, number one is phylum Schizophyta. Schizophyta. Number 2, I have Talophyta. Mind you, I'm arranging them accordingly based on the evolutionary trend, based on the evolutionary advancement. Schizophyta, Talophyta. The next is Bryophyta. The next is what? Pteridophyta. And the last is Spermatophyta. What are schizophytes? Schizophytes are groups of plants that exist bacteria-like. They exist in diverse of shape, and they exist in 5 different forms of shape, just like this. Example of them, we have cocci. I have bacilli. I have spirale, and so on and so forth. As we have cocci are oval in shape. Bacilli, they are rod-like in shape. Like this. Spiral, they are twine. Like this. And they have flagella. Do we get that now? So these are the shapes. The next that I want to talk about, for the sake, I don't want the video to be getting boring on you, so I want you to get the concept gradually. The next is Talophyte. Talophyte can be divided into 2. Talophyta fungi and Talophyta algae. Under the class of the Talophyta fungi, we have example, mushroom. Why? Why do they belong to this class? Because they are non-green plants. That is why, if you are asked for definition of plant, you should know what you're going to say. It is not all plants that are green. And the way they feed, they do not photosynthesize. They feed on a dead, decayed debris of either plant or animal. This mushroom that you're seeing, we have further examples like penicillin, we have further examples like mold, and so on and so forth. They are all fungi. They feed saprophytically. That's the method of the feeding. Do you understand? Now the next is algae. We have different forms of algae. We have filamentous algae that we refer to as Spirogyra. Spirogyra is a filamentous algae. We have another form of algae. We have Sargassum, and so on and so forth, which I may not be able to list them, and I don't want you to get complex on you. Just know that number one example of fungi we have mushroom. We have penicillin. You won't be penicillin, but penicillin is an ointment. Yeah. The primary product, or let me say the primary raw material for making that ointment is gotten from a fungi called penicillin. Do we get that now? Now, we have algae. Under algae, we have Spirogyra. They are filamentous algae. Why do they call them filamentous algae? Filamentous simply means they are joined end to end. End to end. If you view them under the microscope, that's where they are being connected. So the name is not hard. Filamentous algae, meaning they are joined end to end. Now the next is, we'll talk about bryophytes. Bryophytes. Now bryophytes are plants that, let me go back to this talophyte first. You see these talophytes, they are plants. Either they are green or they are not green. Excuse me. They may either be green or they may not be green. But you see this algae, they are green. Some are blue-green algae. Now, under the filamentous algae, they are green plants, but they don't have leaf, they don't have stem. They don't even have roots, but they are plants. Are you getting me? They are plants, no roots, no stem, no leaf. Yeah. Another one there is, I'm going is bryophytes. Bryophytes are the first species of plants, or let me say the first generation of plants that first of all develop leaf, but their leaf is primitive. They have primitive leaf, stems, and root. And why do they have all this? Because where they are coming from does not really generate enough for them to be able to reproduce their own root, leaf, and stem. If you have questions, please drop it in the comment section below. If you have questions, I will attend to them in the comment section. Now, thank you. Now, bryophytes, they have root, stem, and leaf, but they are not true root, they are not true stem, nor true leaf. Let me give us an example. An example is moss. Botanical name of moss is Funaria species, or the Mercantia, or Mercantia polymorphi. So the Mercantia are those ones that are liverwort. Yeah, liverwort. Liverwort is also an example. Moss is an example. Let's see how a moss looks like. A moss can be something like this. Please come close. Have a moss be this way. If you Google it, you see something like this as a moss. Like this. It's not a bird though. It's a plant. If you view it under a microscope, this is what they look like. Something like this. Where this is going to be the capsule, this is going to be the leaf, the stem, and the roots as well. You may be asked to label, this is the capsule, this is the leaf, this is the stem, and this is the root. Are you following me? If you have any question, please drop it in the comment section as I'm saying. Now let's proceed again. Let's get back to this place. The next is pteridophytes. What are pteridophytes? Pteridophytes are green plants with stem, root, and leaves. They even have vascular bundle, meaning that their xylem and phloem are well matured. That is what forms the vascular bundle. If not, we're not going to have vascular bundle. So vascular bundle is present in pteridophytes. Vascular bundle is present in pteridophytes. The reason I'm not diving too deep into them is because I want it to be well simplified for us to know how we break them down. Later we can dive into every one of them one at a time. That will be subsequently in other videos. There may not be time to do that here. If you want that, you can dive into it one at a time. Schizophyte deeply, pteridophyte deeply, bryophyte, pteridophyte, and spermatophyte. Example of pteridophyte. Fern. Fern is an example of pteridophytes. Where can we get pteridophytes? We have some pteridophytes that are aquatic in nature. We have some that are terrestrial in nature. Hydropteris and Dryopteris. Terrestrial, and those ones that are in water, we call it Hydropteris. They may vary according to their numbers of species as well. Now, that is fern. They have true root, true stem, and true leaf. Are we following? Yeah. The next is spermatophyte. I want to break this down a bit because this is what I'll be calling it a day on this video for now. Now, spermatophyte. The word sperma means seed, and the word phytes means bearing. So what is spermatophyte? Spermatophyte simply means seed bearing plant. Yeah, spermatophyte simply means what? Seed bearing plant. And spermatophyte is divided into two. We have Gymnosperms and Angiosperms. Gymnosperms and Angiosperms. Yeah. Some refer them as spermatophytes are flowering plants and so on. But do you know that these ones, they bear flower for fruit, but they don't bear fruit? Gymnosperms don't bear fruit. The only thing they bear is what? Seed. And yet, they bear naked seed. No fruit, they only bear what? Seed. That is gymnosperm. And we have more than 1,000 species of gymnosperms. Yeah, they don't bear fruit. The only thing they bear is what? Seed. Some, their seed is even in cone. That's why we see conifer. Example of gymnospermic plants, we have conifers. Conifers. If you are very familiar with the ancient form of Boy Scouts, the tie that they use then, that yellow tie that is that thing they put into their tie is being gotten from conifers. They have to cut this place open. The hole at the middle is what they are now using before they improvise, or let me say before they get advanced. So that is conifer, example of gymnosperm. But what I want to really talk about more is angiosperms. Angiosperms are divided into two as well. It is either monocot or dicot. I don't really have space again. Let me wipe off this place. Sorry, I made use of hand. I can't really start looking for those now. Now, angiosperm. Angiosperms are divided. Let me write it here. Angiosperm. Angiosperms are divided into two. We have monocot and we have dicot. Can wish to spell it completely, we have monocotyledonous and we also have it to be dicotyledonous. Please, for the sake of your exam, spell it completely. Do not abbreviate. Monocotyledonous plants and dicotyledonous plants. The differences between them is a bit large. Now, the monocot plant, they bear seed, fine. They have flowers, they have roots, they have stem, they have seeds as well. You didn't get that now. But their leaf differs from the leaf of this dicot. What is the meaning of monocot? Let me start from there. The word mono means one. Mono means one. And the word di means what? Two. The cot there means cotyledon. Let me spell it here. Cotyledon. So the cotyledon, the numbers of cotyledon present in the seed of a monocot plant is what? 1. The number of cotyledon present in the seed of dicot is how many? 2. That is why basically if you plant a maize, you planted a maize, you discover that if you study it as it is growing, it will come out with just a single foliage. It will never be 2. Why? Because it is a monocotyledonous plant. The radicle dies in the soil and the plume brings out just one of the cotyledon. That is why they call it seed leaf. The cotyledon can also be referred to as seed leaf. So they are having just one seed leaf. Why these dicots are having 2 seed leaves? Plant beans. When you plant it, you discover that the cotyledon will push out of the soil and it will split itself into 2. One at this side, one at the other side. That is why they call it dicot. How many? 2 cotyledon. So it's not hard. Monocot, 1 cotyledon, 1 seed leaf. Dicot, 2 seed leaf cotyledon. Do we get that now? Now let's look at examples of this. We have maize to be an example. We have millet. We have diverse of mention. Why this? We have dicot, beans. Which other one again? Give me an example in the comment section. We have bean to be a dicot plant, cowpea, granite, and so on and so forth. They are all any plant you discover that their structure differs. Now let me give us structural differences. Number 1 difference between them is that the leaf of monocot will either be parallel. You have a parallel venation. Example, maize. Discover that the midrib will come down this way, and this is the way they look. This is for a maize plant. While that of a bean, the leaf will look definitely this way. Just like this. You can see the difference. So this is having a parallel venation. This will be having a net venation. Some call it pinnate venation. I call it pinnate venation, some call it net venation. At times, the edge of the leaf of this one will not be serrated. It will be entire, meaning that it will just be smooth. To be smooth. Why this one can be serrated? Serrated means it can have zigzag, like this. The edges of the leaves. And so on and so forth. to mention but few. If you find this video very helpful and very interesting, please subscribe, hit the bell notification button so that YouTube will notify you anytime I drop an amazing video like this. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.